Good morning, everybody. Cam Bike here. Just at my favourite mechanics, getting the MOT done. MOT sorted for another year. One advisory on the rear tyre, but not an advisory on the exhaust for the first time ever because I've got the baffling. Anyway, let's get moving. Cheers now! Slightly disappointing on the MOT. Not for the advisory on the tyre. I know the rear tyre's low on its tread. Not illegally low, not even on the limit. But clearly an advisory that if I try and go another year on it, then it would be. But I've got a pair of tyres in the garage waiting to go on. It's just that it's been well, it's been a long time since I've ridden, to be fair. Which is also the disappointing part. So it's disappointing in that this is actually the first time I've ridden this bike since early December, and it's now kind of, well, it's over halfway through February, and over the last year I've done 2,200 miles on it, and I can't even use the excuse that I've got two bikes and I've done all the miles on the other one, which was always the case with when I had the Honda. But now I haven't got the Honda, I can't really use that excuse, can I? It's just been one of those years. We had a few weeks where it was beautiful weather. It actually got beyond beautiful, it got to ridiculously hot, over 40 degrees. But over that period I barely got out, mainly because of work. Obviously, I mention every so often that I'm on call quite often. Well, I work in software development, as many of you will know, and if the systems that we develop on my team, if they fail, then the company can lose a lot of money very quickly, so they need people to be on call to make sure we can keep the main systems up and running. Basically, if our systems go down, our shops run out of food to sell, which would be bad. But that means that I can't really go anywhere. I've got to be able to respond to any issue, what we call a P1, priority 1 issue. That means business failure style issue. I've got to be able to respond to that within 30 minutes, which means no very long trips while I'm on call. And at the moment there's only 2 of us doing the on-call, so I tend to do 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, and it always seems to be that the 2 weeks on coincide with the nice weather, and the 2 weeks off is when it starts chucking it down with rain. I am a rain god after all. And it's also the lack of riding and the amount of rain and grease and mud on the roads that's meant I've not really bothered changing the tyres either. That's my first job before this season starts, and I never thought I'd hear myself talking about a season either. I've always been an all year round rider. But this winter, if you take it as the proper winter rather than the meteorological winter, which is plain silly. I think I've ridden this bike twice now, and once out on Graham's monkey bike. It's pretty poor, isn't it? Pretty poor. So I'm hoping to get out a bit this year, hoping to do a few more videos, hoping there'll be some meetups. Seems to be a lack of them. I've seen one has been advertised by Hippodrones, but it's a little bit too far south for me, unfortunately. It'd be, just to get there and back would be over 500 miles. And, well, if I started the Honda I'd probably do it, but this thing for 500 miles in a day is a little bit painful on the rump. So if anybody knows of any meetups any closer, please let me know. Strange how things get in the way of riding. I mean, the work obviously is a big thing. And then if you imagine every 4 weekends, 2 of them are locked down because of being on call, and then I've got 2 left. But I can't just go out on the bike and then, because it wouldn't be fair on Mrs. C, would it? I'm off now. We couldn't do anything last weekend or the weekend before. Ooh, Lamborghini. And we're not doing anything these 2 weekends either, because I'm riding. But I'm not saying that Mrs. C gets in the way, though. That would be far from the truth. But getting out for the evening rides and whatnot. Confused me, that sign then. I realised it's a Humber Bridge sign for 30. Oh, it's not 30 down here. Must have changed the rules. But certainly going to need to get some weekend trips in to go and see some things that are a distance away. I quite like doing those videos and going and seeing something I've not seen before, like the Panopticons or the Druids Temple, or you know, those various little weird things I get to go and see. Do less of the kind of opinion style videos, although I've done one of those recently. I think I've run out of opinions, to be fair. I think the world's gone a bit mad, and when everybody agrees with some of the stupid things going on being stupid, there's not a lot of point in grumbling, is there? And I've not been trying out many new bikes. Obviously I had to go on the Monkey, so I haven't been doing any of them videos either, but that's that could be a thing now. I'm slightly tempted to start looking for a second bike again, because this one isn't very good for Mrs. C on the back, but I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm thinking maybe it's time, now that the case is over from my accident and all that legal shenanigans. That's finally settled, and the insurance prices come down again, because now I don't have to say that it might have been my fault. So I think it might be time to start thinking about a second bike. Might be time to start doing some test rides, I think. Who knows, I might re-ride some of those ones that I rode in the past that I still get grief for the videos. So like the VFR that I rode and said didn't wow me. Oh, I get a lot of grief by that video. And the Kawasaki Vulcan S, I think it was, the 600-ish or 5. No, what was it? 650 maybe? Where I said I didn't like the brakes on it. And I'm spoilt by this thing. It is hard to get off this and onto a smaller bike and then not think it's gonna have not enough power, or onto a bike that's got average brakes and expect it to do the same as this will do. I am spoilt. I am lucky to be able to have this thing. But yeah, maybe time to start looking for another one again. Maybe do your test ride video. Anything you want me to test ride, let me know in them there comments and we'll give it a try. Now, don't just say a BMW GS or a Honda Africa Twin. Nothing where I need a step ladder to get on. Anyway, I'm just babbling really. It's a bit of a tower of babble, isn't it? Talking about nothing. I've not got a topic to talk about. Just been a while since I've taken the bike out and brought you with me, so I thought I would. Starting to see a few flowers coming up in people's gardens. We've got snowdrops coming up in our lawn. But the real judge of spring is this bend here. Is it still covered in junk from autumn? Or is it dried out enough for the leaves to blow away? It's still covered in leaves from autumn. Oh well. But spring is definitely nearly here. It's definitely nearly proper riding time with a bit of warmth. But I'm back in Bedley now, so I'm gonna wrap this one up. If it makes it into a video, then thank you for watching. Ride safe everyone, and I'll talk to you all again soon.